You remember what it felt like, don't you? Standing in front of the mirror, tugging at your shirt, hoping it would fall just right. Not too tight, not too loose, just enough to make you disappear. You weren't thinking about health, not really. You were thinking about how everyone else seemed to take up the right amount of space, and you somehow took up too much. You didn't ask to be different. You just wanted to blend in, to not be the punchline of someone's joke at lunch. But kids notice everything, especially what makes you different. The comments came early, the teasing, the nicknames, the sideways looks. When dessert came out, you laughed it off sometimes, because that was easier than showing it hurt. But when you got home, the laughter didn't come with you. It stayed at school, with the people who didn't understand. At home, it was just you and the silence that followed every cruel word. You started to see yourself the way they saw you, not as a whole person, but as a problem to be fixed, a body that existed in the wrong shape. You learned that the world rewards smallness, not just in size, but in presence. You learned to shrink your voice, your confidence, your joy, because being invisible felt safer than being seen. Every magazine, every commercial, every before and after story reminded you. Thin meant worthy, thin meant lovable. You told yourself you'd feel better if you could just change. If the weight came off, so would the shame. But deep down, you wondered, would it ever be enough? The thing about growing up overweight is that people don't just judge your body. They shape how you see yourself. Their words become your reflection. You start to believe you have to earn your place in the world. That love is conditional. That happiness is something you'll deserve later, once you're different. Sometimes, food became your only comfort. Not because you didn't care, but because it was the one thing that didn't judge you. It was there when people weren't. You ate to fill the spaces where kindness should have been, to quiet the noise of not being enough. And for a moment, it worked. But then came the guilt, the self-blame, the cycle that wrapped itself around your thoughts. You told yourself you were the problem, and maybe you believed it. So you avoided mirrors, you avoided parties, swimming pools, group photos, anywhere someone could remind you of what you already knew too well. You became hyper-aware. You noticed every glance, every whisper that might be about you. Even when it wasn't, it felt like it was. That awareness never really left. Even as you grew older, even if your body changed, the feeling stayed. The sense that you had to apologize for existing. You learned to scan every room before stepping in, to gauge the tone, the laughter, the eyes that might turn your way. You never let your guard down completely, because safety was something you had to calculate. People think it's just about weight, but it's about how the world teaches you to measure your worth. It's about learning to see yourself through eyes that were never kind. You carried that into adulthood, the carefulness, the overthinking, the way you analyze every room before walking in, the quiet fear of taking up space. You laugh louder now, but it still feels like a risk. You dress differently, but sometimes you still feel like that kid in gym class, standing alone. You tell yourself you're over it, but the echoes still whisper. They whisper when someone compliments you, when you step on a scale, when you see old photos of who you used to be. You wonder if people see you differently now, if they treat you better because you changed. And that thought hurts more than you expect, because deep down, you realize it was never your body that was broken. It was the way people treated you for living in it. It was the cruelty they disguised as concern. You've learned how to smile through it, how to say thank you when people call you disciplined or inspiring. But you know they're praising the pain it took to get there. You've spent years unlearning the idea that worth has a shape, that love has a size limit, that acceptance has to be earned. Sometimes you still hear that younger version of yourself, the one who stood at the mirror, afraid to be seen, and you wish someone had told them it wasn't their fault. You wish someone had said you were never the problem, that your softness wasn't weakness, that your body didn't make you unlovable, it made you human. You wish someone had protected that younger you, the one who laughed it off when they wanted to cry, the one who learned too early how cruel people can be. Growing up overweight means carrying memories in more than your skin. It's in the silence after a cruel comment, the way you flinch at kindness because it feels unfamiliar. It's in the way you scan a room for judgment before you walk in, the way your chest tightens when laughter erupts nearby. You still wonder if it's about you. It's also in the way you learn to read emotions. You became an expert at noticing tone shifts, glances, micro-expressions. You could sense rejection before it even happened. That kind of awareness comes at a cost. You stopped trusting people's words. You only believed what their eyes told you, and most of the time, those eyes looked away. But it also gives you something others don't have. You notice pain in people's eyes faster than most. You feel empathy deeper because you know what it's like to hurt quietly. You understand the kind of loneliness that hides behind a smile. You understand what it means to want to disappear and be seen at the same time. That contradiction lives in you. It always has. You've become someone who listens before you speak, someone who measures words carefully because you know what careless ones can do, someone who carries softness, not as shame, but as armor. And even if you still struggle, you see the world differently now. You understand that people project their own fear onto others, that cruelty often comes from insecurity wearing a mask. You've realized that most people who judged you weren't really looking at you. They were fighting their own battles, with control, with image, with fear of not being enough. You were just an easy mirror, but that doesn't erase the pain, the sting of laughter that wasn't funny, the moments where you wished you could unzip yourself and start over. Sometimes you think about that younger you, the one sitting alone at lunch, the one pretending not to care when the laughter got too loud. You wish you could sit beside them, even for a minute. You wouldn't promise them it gets easy. You wouldn't tell them the world changes, but you tell them they will. You tell them that one day they'll stop fighting their reflection, that they'll start seeing a story instead of a flaw, that every scar, every stretch mark, every memory was survival. You'd remind them that they were never less than anyone else, that their body carried them through cruelty and kept going, that existing, despite the shame others gave them, was its own kind of strength. You tell them that someday they'll understand their body wasn't just a target, it was a vessel for endurance, a witness to growth, a living reminder that they made it through. And maybe that's what growing up overweight really means. Not just living in a body the world didn't understand, but learning slowly to understand yourself anyway. It's learning that your worth was never something to be earned. It was always there, buried under years of noise. It's realizing that your reflection isn't an apology, but a record of everything you survived. It's the quiet understanding that you never needed fixing. There's no neat ending to it, no final moment where everything heals, just quiet acceptance that comes and goes like waves. Some days you'll feel free, some days you'll still flinch when someone mentions your body. Healing doesn't erase memory, it just softens its edges. You don't forget the past, you grow around it. You make peace with the echo of old voices, even if they never go silent. You learn that peace isn't about forgetting, but forgiving yourself for believing them. And one day, you'll look in the mirror again, you'll tug at your shirt out of habit, then stop, and you'll realize you no longer need to disappear. You'll see someone who made it through, someone who carried both the hurt and the hope, someone who finally knows they were enough all along. And when that realization settles in, quietly, gently, it won't feel like triumph. It'll feel like stillness, like the kind of peace you once thought you didn't deserve. You'll just stand there, seen, whole, and real, not changed, just free.